Surviving Tet, U.S. Marine First-Person POV. It's the late 1960s, and the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam conflict has been ongoing for several years now. There's a burgeoning anti-war movement at home, but you, a patriotic American, have heard Uncle Sam's call and decided to join the few and the proud. Arriving in boot camp, you've been placed under the tutelage of caring drill instructors who are going to take the time and effort to mold you into a lean, mean fighting machine. You've been shipped off to Vietnam, and after spending a few months in the country, you've celebrated a rather uneventful New Year's 1968. Though your fellow Marines are under siege at the base at Caasi, you aren't going anywhere near that place. With only a few months left to serve in your 13-month tour, you'll get to experience the holiday of Tet, the Lunar New Year, one of, if not the biggest holidays in Vietnamese culture. Though things may seem calm, your instincts begin to tell you that something's up. Here's how you're going to survive the last leg of your time in Vietnam. Firstly, keep your head on a swivel. This may seem like obvious advice, but for far too many, they use the opportunity of the ceasefire during the Tet to let their guard down. This is obviously a bad idea. So long as you're in Vietnam, there are always threats. It's no doubt mentally taxing to be wary all the time, but this is still a country at war, and anything can happen. This may be unfounded paranoia, but you only have to be right once for your worrying to be worth it. Tet is well known for lots of fireworks, which can disguise the sound of gunfire. Make a point to learn the difference in sound between firecrackers and automatic gunfire, particularly that of the AK-47, which has a very distinctive sound signature. Don't let the holiday fool you. Just because the rest of the country are letting their guard down for the Tet celebrations doesn't mean that there aren't any threats. If George Washington can cross the Delaware River on Christmas Day 1776 to make a night attack on the Hessian mercenaries employed by the British, then the VC can pull something equally sneaky off as well. Avoid the bars and crowded areas, and stay sober. When things begin to go south, you'll be ready for whatever gets thrown at you. This will all pay off when on January 30th, 1968, the Viet Cong and NVA launch a massive coordinated offensive against South Vietnam and their American and other allies. In what will eventually become known as the Tet Offensive, virtually every military installation is going to be hit, and you Marines stationed in Vietnam will be right in the middle of all the chaos. Secondly, you must try to avoid embassy duty. This may seem counterintuitive, but the U.S. Embassy in Saigon is not a safe place to be. It may appear a cushy little job, since opening the gate for dignitaries is much easier than patrolling the jungle and playing hide-and-seek with the unseen enemy, but looks can be deceiving. While the rest of Saigon is distracted, watching fireworks and the other celebrations, VC battalions are moving through the city, capturing key installations and killing the ARVN and Americans stationed there, who are being lulled into a false sense of security due to the holiday. Now that you're on guard duty at the compound, you in particular are standing in the way of the VC's specific objective. This singles you out for special attention, which may have a negative impact on your life expectancy. One 19-person VC sapper squad has a specific target in mind: the U.S. Embassy. In the initial assault, 2 of the Marine guards have been killed, and the rest forced to beat a hasty retreat deeper into the compound. After several hours, though, the Marines, military police, and civilians have fought off the infiltrators, and reinforced by a platoon from the 82nd Airborne, managed to clear the compound. After a few hours, the embassy and its grounds have now been declared secure. The U.S. Embassy is seen as a symbol of American presence in the country, and attacking it was made a priority by the planners of the Tet Offensive. While targets are being attacked around Vietnam, the embassy is going to be singled out for special treatment. The next major step in surviving the Tet Offensive is to brush up on your urban fighting skills. Vietnam is characterized by jungle fighting, patrols through dense vegetation, fighting against a mobile guerrilla force that can melt back into the trees with impunity. While you were trained and prepared for this by your instructors back in the States, you instead find yourself in a much different environment than was originally anticipated. Though installations have been attacked around Vietnam, for the most part, these have been repulsed, and the VC and NVA suffered some heavy casualties. There are a few exceptions, though, none more prominently than the city of Hue. Once the capital of ancient Vietnam, this city is the 3rd largest in South Vietnam. One of the most significant landmarks is a district called the citadel in the heart of the imperial city, which is surrounded by a square wall over 3 feet thick and about 30 feet high, and is large enough to enclose around half the city's 140,000 population. There's also numerous 1- and 2-story homes surrounded by their own stone wall compounds. Since the VC and NVA launched the Tet Offensive, they've been thrown back with heavy casualties, except for Hue. Here, they've dug themselves in, preparing to defend their newly acquired territory. The task of digging them out is going to fall on you and your fellow leathernecks. Like all urban combat, threats can come from any direction and from multiple levels. Each building and each room will have to be cleared out one at a time in close-quarter fighting, more reminiscent of Stalingrad than the jungle fighting you're used to. Stay low, move fast from cover to cover, and keep a sharp lookout for snipers. Be ready to fight without the normal supporting heavy firepower. Because Hue is a city full of civilians and is also packed full of ancient buildings of tremendous historical and cultural significance, the use of artillery and airstrikes is severely limited. Normally, when under fire, American forces can rely on copious amounts of firepower with a simple call on the radio. This is unavailable, so you'll have to make do without. Learn to improvise. Instead of F-4 Phantoms and long-range 105mm howitzers as backup, make good use of the M40A1 106mm recoilless rifle. This crew-served weapon, actually 105mm but called 106mm to designate it from its more famous howitzer counterpart, can be mounted on a jeep for increased mobility. Breech loading and single shot, it fires at a direct trajectory, able to hit specific targets with accuracy up to 1,100 meters. Its projectile is more than capable of clearing out a room or destroying a bunker, while accurate enough to leave other portions of a structure intact. They can also fire special beehive rounds, which fire out thousands of dart-like flechettes, which can immobilize an assault by massed infantry. If the recoilless rifle isn't available, don't hesitate to put your platoon's M79 grenade launcher, nicknamed the Bloop Gun or Thumper, among many others, to good use. After enough hard fighting, the restrictions on the use of heavy firepower will be lifted, and when that happens, put your radio operator to work. No need to clear out a sniper's nest now when an F4 can do the job. You Marines have done enough work. Let the Air Force earn their pay. Lastly, be mindful of booby traps. You've spent enough time in Vietnam now to know that your enemies love to employ all manner of traps for the unwary grunt. With the rubble and close confines of the city around you, tripwires, mines, and hidden explosives could be anywhere. Be careful when entering a narrow corridor such as a hallway or door. Keep in mind that traps are often placed in groups, so if you do manage to avoid or disable one obvious trap, there might be a second one more carefully hidden nearby. Don't let your guard down. Also, be wary of anything that looks too tempting to pick up as a souvenir. Abandoned weapons, flags, or anything else that a careless GI would like to take a closer look at might be attached to a frag grenade or some other device. The battle for Hue would last for a month, while it, as well as the Tet Offensive, caught the Americans and their allies off guard. But by following this survival guide, you should be able to emerge from the chaos none the worse for wear. In challenging and chaotic situations such as the Tet Offensive, being prepared and having the right skills can make all the difference. Just as the guards at the U.S. Embassy needed sharp thinking and strategic action to secure their positions, you too can equip yourself with equally crucial skills through Brilliant, who are the sponsors of today's video. Brilliant is a cutting-edge learning platform that focuses on building foundational understanding, and their interactive problem-solving lessons are 6 times more effective than standard video lectures. Developed by award-winning experts from prestigious institutions such as MIT, Microsoft, and Google, Brilliant's content prioritizes critical thinking over memorization. Their bite-sized lessons make incorporating learning into your daily routine easy, offering a productive alternative to repetitive scrolling. Brilliant's Scientific Thinking course offers an engaging interactive exploration of essential scientific concepts. Through hands-on activities, you'll delve into subjects like electrical circuits and advanced science such as Einstein's theory of relativity. You'll strengthen your natural intuition and deepen your understanding of scientific principles. And the course is designed for students of all levels, with no complex math involved. To explore everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/simplehistory or click the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Start your journey with Brilliant today and unlock your potential to tackle any challenge that comes your way.